Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. Doing last minute busy Christmas stuff, trying to fit in videos where I can. It is Saturday, the 23rd, about 9:50 Central Time, my time. uh, just watching Law's show that he cut about 2 hours ago. And we all know that Tyron will be out tomorrow, and Jonathan Hankins will miss his second straight game. Apologize for the cough. It's the Tourette's. Trying to get under control. I can if I focus on it. If y'all are watching this video, y'all haven't subscribed yet, I guarantee you this will become a show y'all look forward to watching, like Law Nation, Mark Holmes, Mike Fisher, all them top dogs. It'll just take time. That red subscribe button is free, costs you nothing. It's a free investment. Hit it. First goal is to hit 500 subs. After that, 1,000. When I hit 500 subs, I'll be able to start putting back in this channel with sound equipment, studio equipment, sound bites, a call-in line just for this show. So when I do live shows and I actually have a decent crowd, I will have a call-in line just like Law's show. He's the one that inspired me to start my own thing. I should have started this 10 years ago. I didn't know how easy it was to start your own YouTube show. Not being on technology. Been watching this team 30 years. Played my entire youth. Been a student of the game my entire life. Went to Orchard Park. Flew to Buffalo last week to watch that ass beating we got. Experience was fun, but the game was not. So, just touching on what Law said, that he'd like to see us just kind of sit Tyron and Hankins the last 3 games of the season, so they'd be 100% come January, right? I feel that. I feel where he's coming from. He wants 77 and 95 to be 100% come January, whether we the 5 seed or the 2 seed. But there lies the problem. We don't want to be the 5 seed if we can help it. We want to be the 2 seed. So for sure they're going to miss the game against Miami, right? The game against Miami, most fans don't know this, is not a must-win game. Believe it or not. We can... What the hell is that green thing on my face? Whatever. This game against Miami is not a must-win game to win the NFC East or to get the number 2 seed. Try to get some better light. This game on the road against Miami is really for confidence. Not just confidence about beating good teams, but about beating a good team on the road. In case Philly does win out. And if Philly wins out, then no matter what we do, we will be the 5 seed on the road. And having a win against Miami on the road and another one, even though it's Washington, at Washington on the road, you know, will bode well with our psyche playing on the road. But win or lose on this game, next week at home against Detroit, if Tyron Smith is good, if he can play, and Hankins can play, them boys better play. Because that game right there will be at home against, right now, the 4-loss Lions. We beat them, we'll have the head-to-head tiebreaker over them if we win the East. And then after that, we go to Washington. They've benched Sam Howell several times since we played them. They've gone through ownership change. They're a mess. Ron Rivera's on his way out the door. I believe we could go into Week 18, play our starters for a quarter and a half, and then have the game put away just about. I do not see the Eagles winning the next 3 games in a row. I know Keyshawn on Undisputed thinks it's a wrap, that there's no way that Philly's going to lose to the Giants twice and Arizona once. But if the Eagles, if Washington, who has a worse record than the Giants, went toe-to-toe with Philly twice. Not once, but twice. Took Philly to overtime in the first matchup when Ron Rivera should have just went for two and went for the win at the end of the fourth quarter, opposed to going to overtime. And then in game 2, trailing by 14 at one point in the game against Washington, and it went down to the brink again. They played the Patriots. They beat them by 5 points. Mac Jones threw for 350-plus yards. Patriots had a rookie receiver week 1. And if he would have got 2 feet in bounds, which he really could have, but he was a rookie, then the Patriots would have had the ball first and goal at the 8, 30 seconds left to go. And the way that Mac was throwing the ball, they probably would have gotten in the end zone and won that game. Against Kansas City, dropped balls in their favor. Against Buffalo, Philly did play tough. But the Bills beat themselves as Josh Allen had Gabe Davis wide open in overtime for a touchdown. Philly slips out of those 2 games. 9 of their wins, 8 or 9 of their wins, no, 8 of them, because they've won 10. 8 of the Eagles' wins have been by 7 points or less. They've had 2 wins of more than 1 score. They beat Miami by 14. They beat the Rams by like 9, I think. Those are the 2 biggest wins. And they beat Miami shorthanded. People are not realizing this. Eagles went to that game against Miami fully healthy. Nobody on the injury report. The Dolphins, going into the game, were missing all-pro left tackle Teron Armstead, big-time guy not being there, center Connor Williams, who used to be our left guard, the 2 Pro Bowl cornerbacks, Jalen Ramsey, Xavier Howard, both were not playing. And then during the game, Isaiah Wynn gets rolled up on their left guard, so he's out. So they're missing their entire left side of the offensive line, one of them being all-pro, the blind side left tackle. They're missing their 2 all-pro corners, and then Jalen Waddle is hurt for half the game. And they were still hanging with Philly. And it was 17-24. Miami was driving, about to tie it up, and then Tua just throws a duck. Ugly duck. Darius Slay couldn't have an easier interception if he tried. So Slay intercepts it, and then the Eagles go down and score their own touchdown to win by a score of margin of 14. After the Cowboys and Seahawks game, I think the Eagles' point differential is like, plus 17, something like that. For a 10-4 team, that is very, very unimpressive. So yeah, the 5-8 Giants, 5-8, 5-9, the 5-9 Giants, I believe can give the Eagles some headaches and possibly pull one out of the 2 out, since the 4-10 Commanders took them to overtime and took them to the end of the fourth quarter in the other game. And with the Eagles' rush defense being as leaky as it is, going into the bye week, Eagles were allowing 66 yards a game on the ground. That front was just wrecking on the run game. They wouldn't let nobody run the football. They go into the bye week. You would think they would come out of the bye week better, but they come out of the bye week, play Kansas City. Kansas City runs for $150. Play Buffalo. Buffalo runs for like $146. Play San Fran. San Fran runs for $150. Play us. We run for $130. And then Seattle, Kenneth Walker ran all over that defense Monday night. So now they're going up against Saquon Barkley, who doesn't have a bad offensive line. You got Andrew Thomas, all-pro left tackle, who I think right now PFF ranks number 2 behind Trent Williams. Tyron Smith's ranked number 3. Evan Neal in his second year, first-round pick, right tackle. And John so-and-so, first round pick, best center in the draft this season. A young and good offensive line with Saquon, who is still a very dangerous running back. And if they can run the ball in that Philly defense to open up the pass game, Darius Slay's not there. So the cornerback one is Bradbury. Avonte Maddox is out for the season. Kevin Byard, they traded for him. He hasn't really made much of a difference. I mean, he hasn't. Against us, I think he had an interception against us. But other than that, you haven't been seeing a whole lot of highlight reels about Kevin Byard. He's been real quiet. So, I feel what Law's saying about, resting 77 and 95. So, because we want them to be 100% in January, of course. Now, if we can win the East, beat Detroit, and go to Washington, knock them off without them cats, that's cool then. Okay, I'm down with that. But if they're able to play against Detroit, you play them against Detroit. You play Tyron against Detroit. You play Hankins against Detroit. Because, that second-year pass rusher that the Lions have ain't no joke. And he will eat up Chuma Doga or Terrence Steele, and they run the ball pretty well. And we need Hankins in there. Since, Chargers releasing Sebastian Joseph Day because they were way over the cap. After last season, Brandon Staley wanted all these defensive players. They go out to get Khalil Mack. They get a slew of guys, and they're way over the cap. So now they're having to, get in front of it, start releasing guys. Sebastian Joseph Day is a good run stopper, good one technique guy. And if he clears waivers and gets to us, Cowboys had originally said they were not interested in him. At this point in the season, when a player like that becomes available, why wouldn't you rent him for the rest of the year? Why not? Get him, get him into the system, and by January, he should know what he's doing. Six-year pro. But we like our guys. We like Mozzie. It's not going to stunt Mozzie's growth. Mozzie is more of a redshirt guy right now that's being forced into the game because Hankins is hurt. And we need Mozzie to step up. I want to beat Miami. Even though the game against Miami really, unless we're going for the 1 seed and we expect the Niners to drop 2 of the next 3, which I seriously doubt. They might drop against Baltimore, and it could happen, but they're not dropping against Washington, and I don't think the Rams are going to beat them. I really don't. The Rams are playing well, but the Niners own them in the division. They have for a while now. Now, it could happen, which is why I would like to win out, even though, this game is not a must-win game. Detroit and Washington is. Now, last night I told y'all, keys of victory for tomorrow. Start fast. We need to be the first one to get on the scoreboard, whether it's 3 or 7, preferably 7. We need those 75-yard, 10-play, 12-play drives that we are the best at. We are number 1 in the league at those kind of drives. 75, 80-yard drives, 7 yards, 8 yards, 10 yards. Win on first down, get 5-6 yards on first down, draw to Pollard, second and short, Ferguson up the middle. And Dak needs to be crisp on his throws playing outside. Because at Buffalo, when they scored on the opening drive and we got the ball, Dak had Cooks open. Highmark Stadium is a very small stadium. It felt like it was right in front of my face. I saw Cooks get behind the defense. I saw Dak throw it. And I was like, man, I'm about to witness an awesome play. And it was like 3 yards too far. It's like, Dak, man, y'all practice all the time. You have a field in your backyard. Drop that ball in the bucket, answer that quick score, and shut that Bills crowd up. And that stadium would have got real quiet. But it didn't. And it snowballed from there. So we get on top by 7, maybe by 10. If we could do that, then we can put the pressure on Tua. We can, pin our ears back. Our defense is predicated off our offense this season. That's how it's become. And Law just said that on his show, and I said that last night. And sometimes it feels like I say things, and then I see other guys saying them a day later, and it's like, damn, man, I pointed that out. And then some other big guy points it out that has like 1 million subscribers, and everybody thinks he's a genius. Guys, follow what I talk about. Catch my videos. The defense opening up the season, it was the offense following the defense. Now it's reversed. The defense follows the offense. The offense gets up quick, the defense can play its game. If the offense is tied up, the defense can play its game. But especially if the offense is up by at least 10 or 9, a 2-score game, then the defense can really play to its strengths. Now, when we're playing from behind, the other team is going to run the football, and the clock is their friend, and those games go by really fast. The game at Buffalo went by like that. I mean, before I knew it was the second quarter, halftime, third quarter, and we sat there like men in the fourth quarter rain and waited till Buffalo went to victory formation and took them 2 knees. Took the losses like men. That's how you got to do it. My prediction for tomorrow, which I did not, say yesterday, I see us, because we bounced back good after losses. We have not had back-to-back losses in over 2 years. Last time was, like I said, at Kansas City, and then 5 days later at home against the Raiders. 2021, without Amari Cooper, without CeeDee Lamb. Big reason why we had back-to-back losses, because we had our number 1, number 2 receivers out. Gallup was our number 1 guy, and we still almost beat the Raiders on Thanksgiving in overtime. That's ancient history, though. Against teams above 500, Miami's averaging 17 points a game. We're averaging 19 points a game on the road. So something's got to give. I think Dak will get this offense rolling this week. He's not going to have 2 donut games in a row. My score prediction is 31-17 Cowboys. I think our defense steps up, plays to its capability. I think we get up early and quick. Maybe, 10-0, in the first quarter, late in the first quarter, 10-0. And the Dolphins start to abandon the run game a little bit, start throwing the ball a little bit more. And then that's when our pass rush, because the right tackle and the right guard is out, Robert Hunt. The right tackle, very questionable, probably out. So if that right guard and right tackle is out, that's pretty big, on the injury report. Zach Martin should play. He's a baller. He don't like to sit on, the sideline. I expect 70 to be out there. Zach Martin's out there. That's great. Chuma can hold down the left tackle position for a game. We trust him to do that. He's done it before. So 31-17. We bring it to Miami. Dak gets back on the saddle. Here we go. 4 offensive touchdowns, and Brandon Aubrey knocks in a 58-yarder. We score 31 offensive points, and our defense plays very well against a high-octane offense because we're playing our style of defense. Pinning our ears back into the pass rusher, making Tua make bad throws, possibly a turnover or 2. And that'll be tomorrow. And then Monday morning, Christmas morning, when we open up, if you have kids, watch your kids open your presents, have a great Christmas morning, drink a nice Christmas latte or whatnot, and then 3:30, 3 o'clock, Philly plays, and then watch the Giants and Eagles play. And if the Eagles fall to the Giants and lose 4 in a row, if they lose this game on Christmas Day, that'll be 4 in a row. That'll be official panic button for Philly. Everybody jump ship. Now, if they don't lose on Christmas Day, it's all right. They still got to play Arizona. Still got to play the Giants again. Now, if they dominate the Giants, 31-3, that's a problem. If they beat the Giants, say 2017, okay then. We still have a very good chance of, them dropping one of the last two. Or if the Giants do us a great favor and DeVito pulls out the Italian stallion type, Rocky Balboa mentality, underdog, gets a shot out of nowhere to take out Apollo Creed, and the Giants do it, then our destiny is in our own hands. And I go back to if 77 and 95 are good to go for week 17, you better put them boys in there. Well, we are great at home. We beat Detroit, make it 16 in a row. And in that case, after that, rest Ty Smith, rest Jonathan Hankins, and hell, even rest Zach Martin for the Washington game. Because I believe we can beat the Commanders without Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, and Jonathan Hankins. I really do. TJ Bass is not a bad backup at right guard. Adoga is not a bad backup at left tackle. And Mozzie can use the reps. I think that can, throw 3-4 touchdowns in the first half in the game early and secure the 2 seed. That is the realistic goal right now is a 2 seed. The 1 seed, not very realistic. Now, if it happens, super wonderful, awesome. But I don't see it happening. But if it does, great. I mean, if tomorrow the Niners lose, then we're looking for them to lose one more and Philly to just lose one more if they haven't lost, earlier that day already. Philly plays early Monday. San Fran plays late Monday. So if Philly loses to the Giants early Christmas Day, then for all means, root for the Niners to lose Monday night against Baltimore. And then root for the Rams to get stronger and stronger, look great, tomorrow, and look great the week after. So, there'll be a 6-loss team. There'll be 10-6, 10-6 playing San Fran week 18, and hopefully they have seeding to play for. Maybe the 5th seed, since they've got 6 losses. If Philly loses 1, they'll have 5. But Philly did beat the Rams, so they have that tiebreaker there. So, yeah, that's what I'm saying. The 1 seed is probably not probable because the Rams probably lock in the 6th seed, and then week 18 they'll probably take their own bye week. That's the way I'm thinking. And then San Fran, will just win the game and take that 1 seed. But we shall see. Tomorrow, 31-17. Hopefully, we get the ball first. If we win the toss, we want the ball. If Miami wins the toss and elects to receive, then we need our defense to go out there and do what we know what they can do. And we've seen our defense play great. They've had bad games and good games this year. We need them to have a good stretch. Not just a good game against Miami, but against Detroit, Washington, and anybody we play in the postseason. But yeah, if Tyron Smith and Jonathan Hankins can go against the Lions, you better put them boys out there because that's a must-win game for the number 2 seed. And then let them rest week 18. That's where I stand as a fan. Didn't play pro ball, so I don't know what it's like, playing at that level. But from my point of view, that's where I disagree with, Law on his take of resting them for the rest of the regular season. Because if you're doing that, you're almost just saying we're okay with the 5 seed. Because Hankins is your anchor on the defensive line. Tyron Smith is who he is. Right now, he is ranked number 3 PFF, the 3rd best left tackle in the NFL. That's behind Trent Williams, and I would assume the 2nd one would be Andrew Thomas or somebody like that. Laramie Tunsil, I don't know who number 2 is, but That's my thoughts on it, guys. Tomorrow I might do a little short before the Miami game. Talk about the early games. It'll be a fun Christmas Eve, though. So please hit that subscribe button, guys. Help me get to 500. I'm getting closer and closer. And after that, I'll hit 1,000. After that, this show will take off like a rocket. And when that happens, it'll be on the pop, guys. All right, Charles in Charge is out. I'll catch y'all tomorrow. Deuce.